So we said before the stream, we were talking to our viewers that they could ask some questions to you. Now, if anyone would like to place the question, they can either do it into the chat now, or they can put it into the Discord under listeners' questions. There is one question that is already in the listeners' questions in the Discord that I will read out first. And let's bring that up now. And it says, will Duncan... I'll say that's bigger now.
He's expanded.
He's expanded the question like literally 2 minutes ago. It was like just one line thing. It says, will Duncan do an only hands video?
No, probably not. Maybe something really quick, like an Instagram short, something like that. No. So the reason why we put a face in the first place, this was Roger's driving thing way back when all this stuff started, was that he believed you had to associate a personality with a person telling you something to do, and seeing them was an important thing of doing that. And we don't mean as in making like, this person is the important thing or anything like that. It's more like, all right, this person who you now can understand because you can read their face and get who they are, they're going to act as that. He said it as an older brother figure. I'm not sure if I can view it that way, but basically someone who, you can understand who they are, you recognise them. Oh, I know that person, they're going to show me what to do.
Trust.
So that's why that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier on about how Duncan's like personality and his sincerity really does come through, and you wouldn't get that if you didn't feel that you knew the person. So
yeah. If it's floating hands, it just takes away a bit of that. Unfortunately. And it's that's why we do it. But still, like forever and always, the star of the show is the miniature because that's what people are watching it for. It's almost like seeing the person is like set dressing, essentially. It's like when you're a kid watching Art Attack, seeing Neil Buchanan. It's like, oh, it's Neil Buchanan, he's going to show me stuff. And it's you're watching it because of what he's showing you, not because it's him, but that leads you into it. So that's why we've always done it this way.
And it's this Deep Fried Johnny has elaborated a further question, which is, on a more serious note, have Duncan and Roger thought about having their tutorials on an app for members?
That would be awesome. And Roger speculated about it a few weeks ago, actually, but this will require getting someone who can develop an app for us.
Yeah.
So that's going into the area of hiring more staff to do that sort of thing.
And staff is the most expensive part about any business.
And app development isn't the easiest thing in the world.
We'll see.
Right, so Vulcan Lifts. Have you ever heard of the Squidzilla boys?
Squidzilla?
Well,
they're Twitch.
I was going to say, they were both at GriffCon.
Oh, yeah. They were doing the Turnip 28 stuff at GriffCon, if you remember them.
So Turnip 28 and all that. So I don't know them specifically. I mean, I don't really watch Twitch stuff. I don't really have the time to watch it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought you did. So Vulcan Lifts, one of the Squidzilla boys, has said, would you recommend 5 to 10 paints you think are a must-have from the Duncan Rhodes Too Thin Coats?
Ooh, okay.
That's a difficult one.
Yeah, you've only got enough money in your wallet for 5 paints.
Yeah, because quite literally, Duncan, they said, oh, what about 30 paints? He said, no, we really need 60.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you go down to 5?
Yeah. Open my wallet and butterflies come flying out. I can only afford 5. Go.
Okay, so, all right, so 10 paints. Okay, I'll do my best.
5 to 10, yeah.
So we've got... I would go for, first of all, the black and white. So Doom Death Black and White Star. Basically, because Doom Death Black covers really well, it's really smooth, and getting a good black is always one. Whereas White Star is, again, really smooth, covers really well, excellent white. I think they show off the properties of the paints very well. I also think Death Reaper does this, which is an off black, and that I use a lot and then wash down. So that's a pretty useful one to have. I think the Oblivion Black Wash and Battlemud Wash really show what our washes behave like and the way they dry matte and everything like that, so I'd recommend those. Surcoat Silver is one I'd definitely go for a nice solid silver. I'd also recommend the same with Dragon's Gold. Again, really lovely gold, doesn't break up very easily, so it covers really nicely. I would also recommend Emerald Green, which is one that I was particularly keen on making sure we got right as we were developing the paints, because getting an emerald green that covers well is quite tricky. So I wanted to see if that could be cracked, and that one does the job, so I'd go for that one. What else?
I should be taking notes.
Yeah, we'll watch the VOD back. It's fine. We'll watch it back.
So Griffin Claw is a sort of ivory kind of colour.
Oh, I like that one. I wonder why.
I use that one all the time. And it's competitive, isn't it? For a last one, probably Sanguine Scarlet because it's a really lovely smooth red that colours really well.
Yeah. It's what's the burgundy one you've got?
Oh, Sword Hilt Burgundy.
Oh, that's my favourite.
Do you know why we call it that?
No, go on.
If you take a look at Games Workshop miniatures, they almost always paint the Sword Hilts Burgundy.
Yeah.
And so we thought, oh, that's why do they always do that? Oh, we'll call it Sword Hilt Burgundy.
So this is my Praetor with a nice burgundy cape.
Ooh,
Obviously,
lovely.
not going to get a good image of that, but I did a challenge, and it took me 45 minutes to speed paint with your paints. I did 3 of them.
Nice.
And they actually come out better than ones I spent 2 hours on.
It's that pressure, it's honed your skill.
Yeah, so that burgundy, I absolutely love it a lot. Like, a lot.
Having the good coverage really does help the speed on things.
Right, so before we go into any more questions, that one question I'd like to know: what has Duncan got on his personal painting table right now?
Oh, okay. So what I've been doing is painting some Lord of the Rings models because Mrs. Rhodes abruptly got into painting miniatures like late last year because we got this Cthulhu game and called Death May Die. And
I remember you saying about that in the last interview, actually.
Yes, I really enjoyed playing it. So I painted the full core set, but we got the expansions. I just didn't have time to paint them, so she started painting them and discovered she really enjoys it, and she's got a good knack for it. Like she picked up really quick. So she, when we're on holiday, spotted the Mordor Battle Force set, with the Witch King and everything in. And she loves Lord of the Rings. She loves the Witch King, so she bought that. So she'd be painting the Mordor army. So, all right, I'll do a Lord of the Rings army to play against you. And I've got some armies of men I've done before, like Dol Amroth and Dale and this sort of stuff. But I'd never done elves, so I started painting a Lothlorien army. So I've been thoroughly thrashed a few times with those because I'm not very good with having small elite armies, as it turns out. But yeah, I've been working on that, and I've also been investigating doing a Republican Roman army.
Ooh.
Oracles, yeah. Because so I met up with some friends who I've been playing Flames of War with a bunch of time, and one of them, a few years ago, I painted this Greek army, and I actually did 2. I did Athenians and Spartans, all using Victrix plastic miniatures and things, and I wasn't using them at all. He really wanted to have a go at doing a Ancients thing, so I sold them to him, and he got them all out, and we played a game with those recently, and it was really cool to see them on the table again. And we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do like a Rome Total War style campaign? That'd be really cool. We're like, I can make a map. I've done a map before. I've run campaigns before. I could do something like that. And then we started discussing what armies, what era we could do and things. And whilst his is meant to be like classical Greeks, we could push it a bit later to the point where Greeks are start changing into more pike arm, rod and spear arm and stuff. And that means they can have Carthage, and one of the guys really wants to do Carthage. And I'm like, well, I've always wanted to paint a Roman army. I've never done that before. So I've been investigating miniatures. So actually, just last night, I have on my desk, so
oh, there we go.
Here's a metal figure that I've just had a go at picking up. This is from a company called Lucid Eye, who are quite a small company. I'd not really heard of much before, but I believe Steve Salley, who I don't know if you folks have ever heard of him, he's got a very distinctive style on his sculpting for metal figures, very clear, lots of character, a little bit heroic scale, like old Warhammer figures. And I think it's him making these. So this is he's called a Principe, is this guy. This is like a regular legionary from the Republican era. I thought I'd sample and see what they're like, and I really like it. It's a bit bigger than I expected it to be, so they might look like, slight giants taking on the Carthaginians, but I really like that figure. I've also got some Victrix plastics and things I've been experimenting with, so I'm just in the process of mulling out what figures I like, and then I can go in and start making my units of Astarte and Principe and Triarii and Leves and all this sort of stuff. I really like ancient history of that era. It's do you guys know anything about this era that I'm starting to run?
Yeah, no. Romans is my favourite era.
Yeah.
I'm constantly there's a little saying that I repeat, and it's basically based upon what the Romans did, and that is only the victors write the history books.
Yes.
And the the reason why the Romans actually managed to dominate so much of the world is because of the way they actually treated the history of the places they conquered, because they would purposely go and destroy every single bit of written history in that country, so that they weren't worried about generation 1 or 2. Yeah. By the time the third generation is around, as far as they knew, they were Romans.
Yeah.
True. And they can then write the history how they want.
Exactly. And to be honest, if the Romans hadn't of, poisoned themselves with lead piping, then to be honest, we probably our technology would be so much more advanced right now.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, they could treat cataracts in your eyes. Like, the Romans could do that. It's bizarre when you realise how advanced they were, and then everything went back into.
They had central heating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the what was it? I can't remember who it was, but there was a scientist or historian or both that kind of surmised that we would have landed on the moon like 100 years earlier.
I think it would have been like 500.
A couple of 100 years earlier if the Empire hadn't fallen.
A big spaceship shaped like an eagle.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested in doing ancient wargaming, I really encourage you to take a look at the ancient world around about 280 BC, because it literally is like playing Total War, which I suppose is why Total War starts around about there when you play the video game for it, because you've got all these empires that feasibly could win, and they also could feasibly fight each other, and often did, and they're all different. And so, I mean, there's a bunch of them who've got, so after Alexander the Great, so they've all got flavours, like, well, a bunch of them are like Alexandrian kind of armies, but they've all got different things on them that makes them different. Like, one's got side chariots, one's got this type of elephant and stuff. And then you got Rome, and you got Carthage, and you got the classical Greek cities. You got the Gauls, you've got the Spanish. And all of them are different. So it's like playing Warhammer, but it's like real world. So they all are different. They can all fight each other and stuff. So it's Anyway, I'm really excited about it.
Brings an element of reality to it.
That's what I'm doing right now. Elves and Romans.
Elves and Romans. That was actually a really good answer for what's on your personal hobby desk right now.
There is one other thing I just mention quickly. So Roger's been going on about wanting to try playing Kill Team, and I've discovered I've got. Do you remember the Space Marine Heroes from years ago?
Yes.
I've got the full tactical squad for that. And I was thinking I could actually paint a Blood Angels tactical squad, which I've always wanted to do for myself, but never have done.
Well, they've just recently re-released those, so.
Yeah, so I was thinking I could just paint them as a full classic, Mark 7 power armor tactical squad, all the cool poses and stuff like that, like by a sergeant, and have a bit of an old school vibe and have a go at Kill Team. So I hear it's really good. At LVO, Kill Team was like crazy big. There were so many people doing it. And they were all really into it. They all had their own little devices for tracking all stats and things like that.
I would say
it was like how surprised I was about the how few people were playing like Horus Heresy and that. They only had like a couple of dozen, from what I hear.
Was it that might allude to actually the downturn in 40k that we're seeing? I don't know if you know about it.
I've heard about it. So when Heresy came out, we noticed a lot of people asking for Heresy content rather than 40k content, which we thought was interesting. We heard it's because people were finding playing 40k really frustrating to begin with. I've not actually played this edition, so I don't really know. But I understand that there's lots of things you got to do before the game starts, and people find it off-putting.
I find the stratagems off-putting.
Yeah.
I think in my Tau army there's something like 50 stratagems.
Yeah, it's got a bit
to remember.
Bogged down, and everything that you can do being scattered around the book. And
I'm now purely focused on Age of Sigmar. I love the models, love the gameplay, and we've actually just started our Age of Sigmar league. We had the draw on Wednesday, and for our first league, it's is it 24 names?
Yeah,
24 names for our
and literally
store.
The first thing I did is I went and watched the Duncan How to Paint Sigvold model video.
We've actually got another first-time chatter for Twitch there saying, "Oh snap!" This is from Wolf Bible. It's Duncan, the dude who's guided me on my first 40k army of 1,000 Suns.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. They look great, 1,000 Suns.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good example of what I was saying earlier, because Duncan's early 1,000 Suns video, they used like the blue glazes, like was it Gilliman Blue or whatever it was at the time, and and I went back and watched that, and I was like, I can't get that.
Right, okay. This is from Housefire Hawk, who is another content creator on Twitch. Question, is there going to be a 1 to 10 scale bust of Sir Coates?
I don't know. That would be quite a cool thing for, painting and, up close detail and stuff. Maybe. We'll see. We do plan to be selling the figures that were on the Kickstarter, that Sir Coates figure and all of his friends, and Baron Von Evil, who is so maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've actually
Obviously, once you get the web shop up and running, maybe that's a thing to add later on.
There you go. I've actually got 2 things to actually say about that I've just remembered purely because of Sir Coates was mentioned, and that is one thing that Sir Coates looks like a Stormcast Eternal with a pistol, and I love it.
I've never really thought of that.
It looks like a Vindicta like this, and then a pistol. Yeah, and another one is the effect paints that were in the Wave 1 Kickstarter. What's happening with them?
Are they ever going to become available as a separate thing, or?
Yeah, the idea is to make them available. The priority is getting the main range fully available everywhere. Yeah, so currently the thing happening with that is getting us stuck into America and working with Asmodee to make that happen. So that's in hand. But yeah, it's a later on thing, and what you'll see is there'll be a few more effects things, and it'll be like an extra thing of like cool effects paints and stuff added on. So yeah, you'll see it.
Well, on a personal note on that, get your finger out, because I can only water down Blood for the Blood God so much before I need to replace it.
Right, I think we're pretty much coming to a natural wrap-up point soon. I'm hoping to speak to Duncan again soon about July, if Duncan can remember. But Duncan's a very busy person, so and we're a small fish. So
that may be one more thing maybe to ask Duncan, and that
I don't like to do it live on.
No. But what other like you've just recently been to LVO? What other events have you got coming up where
that's
people
a really
can catch
good
you?
question. Yeah, if people want to come meet you, are you at Salute this year?
So Salute maybe. So I might have to go to Gamma, which is over in Reno, and it's almost at the same time. So it depends on whether I'm
hold
going
on,
there.
wait, Duncan, hold on, right. So you've got Salute in London, where you have to get the tube, or you fly out to Reno.
Fly out to Reno, which I hear is like Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, mini Vegas.
I
think London's gonna win that one.
Well, the thing about going to America is that it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time as well, because you getting there takes a day, and you then need to, if you're going to be doing a show or something, you've got to have a day to get over it and get used to the time and stuff. And going there, I'm pretty good at adjusting to their time. But coming back, so. You go there, you do the thing, you come back, and then you won't get back until like Tuesday. I mean, from Vegas, we didn't get home. I turned back home at 7:00 Tuesday night, and we left on Monday. So I wasn't able to function for the rest of that week. So if we go to America, it takes about 2 weeks out of our schedule, which is a nightmare. So that's the downside of going to something. So basically, there's a few things up in the air.
And time is money in your industry.
Yeah, and there's a whole pros and cons thing as well. Yeah.
Beyond that, we'll have to see. So yeah, if it's scheduling stuff, email Bernice.
yes. It's Bernice I speak to quite regularly. So yes, we. In terms of what we've got coming on this year is we have got GriffCon on the 8th of July.
Yeah.
We are going to be running it differently from last year because of the feedback we received from the streamers and the attendees. Don't
worry, he won't be parading us on stage again.
I'm not sure if Duncan minded that, to be honest. Most of them were a bit like sheep in headlights.
Yeah,
but
I've never seen so many content creators feeling so uncomfortable.
So there is no stage this year like that. We've got we're running the main hall for traders and gaming and painting. We're actually focusing quite heavily on painting this year, which is going to be quite good. We're doing a panel room, so there will be delegates to people to come and watch for panel rooms, and we hope to do like a painting seminar as well, and a few other bits. So it's shaping up to be a really evolved convention, and
a lot of stuff that's still TBD.
Yeah,
So.
and our footfall. We got the result for our footfall for last year for a first ever convention. It was 104 people, so of footfall. So it's actually really
good turnout.
And the prediction is to at least double. So we're really and because of that, if it doubles again for the year after, we can't stay in the location we are. So and that means I've already had to start planning 24.
That's onwards and upwards, man. That's encouraging. That's really good.
That would be, yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a very good problem to have. It'd just be good if it paid. That, like everything in life. Right.
Hey, I don't get paid, so.
Awkward. Right. On that note, first of all, thank you very much for coming on to this special edition of Shop Talk. It was really good to talk to you again.
Thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me, and also thanks to everybody for taking the time to tune in to hear me ramble about paints.
I think everyone really enjoyed that.
I really hope you like it.
No, I think everyone really enjoyed that. I'm not sure if you saw it in chat. There was at least 3 or 4 people going, right, I'm sold now.
Yeah,
they were literally, as you were going through, talking about how it was chemically made, all the different additives and stuff like that. People were like, you're almost giving them the reassurance that you have actually put in the work.
Better get that restock done.
Yeah, I mean,
really and we're open to feedback too, because nothing's going to be perfect, but we want to make it better. So if people do have feedback about it, we're all ears. Just fire an email over to us, and we'll chat to Transatlantis about it, because we're in contact with them most days. So. They are an odd creation, but like I say, just pick one up and just have a go with it. And I mean, I know they're not the cheapest painting out there, but like I say, they are very high quality, and there's a reason they cost what they do. It's not like we make an enormous profit on each one either. So, you do get what you pay for.
Yeah, and on that note, congratulations for the completion of Wave 1 and the successful backing of Wave 2. I was, like, the second I heard about the Kickstarter, I set my reminder, and I was one of the backers in the first 20 minutes. So, absolutely buzzing about the Wave 2, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I just wish I could have been there with you, but I look forward to when they hit the stores.
Yeah.
So,
well, the channel's there now, so things are going to be much quicker this time.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is just about it for us. Thank you very much to all of our viewers to come along and for your questions. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please do consider getting over to the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy. If you aren't already subscribed to his service, you will not be disappointed.
I've been subscribed since day one.
Yeah, you will not be disappointed at all. And please do, if you are watching us on Facebook, YouTube or Twitch, to give us a follow, like or sub. That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you, Duncan, yet again, and we'll see everyone another time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.